The morning of September 11, 2001, began like countless others. The New York City skyline, dominated by the iconic Twin Towers, shimmered in the early autumn sunshine. I arrived at the World Trade Center complex around 7:15 a.m., my briefcase in hand, ready for another day at the office. The usual hustle and bustle of the financial district pulsed around me, a symphony of yellow cabs, hurried footsteps, and distant sirens. It was a scene I knew well, a comforting rhythm in the heart of the city that never sleeps. I rode the elevator up to my office on the 64th floor of the South Tower. The familiar hum of the elevator was oddly soothing, a brief respite from the frenetic energy of the city below. Stepping out onto my floor, I was greeted by the familiar sight of my colleagues already immersed in their work. Coffee brewing, phones ringing, the clatter of keyboards. It was the soundtrack of our daily grind. Little did we know that within minutes, our world would be irrevocably changed. Around 8:46 a.m., a deafening roar split the air. The building shuddered violently, throwing me off balance. It felt like an earthquake, a deep primal tremor that shook us to our core. Confusion filled the air, a collective gasp followed by a stunned silence. What was happening? Had the unthinkable occurred? We rushed to the windows, our hearts pounding in our chests. The unthinkable was unfolding before our very eyes. A gaping hole marred the North Tower, black smoke billowing out into the clear blue sky. Debris rained down on the streets below, a chilling cascade of metal and glass. We watched in horrified fascination, our minds struggling to grasp the magnitude of what we were witnessing. Panic began to spread through the floor. People were crying, frantically calling loved ones, desperate for information. The air crackled with fear and uncertainty. Should we stay put? Should we try to evacuate? I couldn't think straight. My belongings, my work, my entire life felt utterly insignificant in the face of this unimaginable catastrophe. I remember thinking about my wallet, my keys, the things I thought I needed. A colleague, sensing my hesitation, placed a hand on my shoulder. "Leave it all," he said, his voice surprisingly calm. We joined the growing throngs in the stairwell, a slow-moving river of humanity united by fear and the primal urge to survive. As we descended the seemingly endless flights of stairs, a thunderous boom reverberated through the stairwell. The building lurched violently, throwing us against the walls. Screams filled the air, a chorus of terror echoing through the concrete and steel. We knew, without a doubt, that another plane had hit. Our descent became a frantic scramble. People were pushing, shoving, desperate to escape the collapsing tower. We stumbled down the stairs, our lungs burning, our legs aching, fueled by adrenaline and fear. The air grew thick with the smell of jet fuel and smoke, a suffocating reminder of the inferno raging above. When we finally emerged onto the street, we were met with a scene of utter chaos. The air was thick with dust and debris, the sky a surreal shade of orange. People were running in all directions, their faces contorted in terror. Emergency vehicles, sirens wailing, struggled to navigate the crowded streets. And then I saw them. People, silhouetted against the flames, leaping from the upper floors of the towers, tiny figures plummeting to their deaths, choosing a quick end over the agonizing prospect of being burned alive. The image, seared into my memory, remains a haunting reminder of the human cost of that day. In the days and weeks that followed, the city slowly began to heal. But for those of us who were there, the scars of that day ran deep. The survivors' guilt, the nightmares, the overwhelming sense of loss, these were wounds that time could not easily heal. Why did I survive when so many others didn't? What purpose did my life serve that theirs did not? These were questions I wrestled with, questions that haunted my waking hours and invaded my dreams. The world felt fragile, uncertain. The things I once took for granted, my family, my friends, the simple act of drawing breath, now held a newfound preciousness. The attacks on 9/11 changed America forever. They shattered our sense of security, our belief that we were immune to the evils that plagued other parts of the world. In the aftermath of the attacks, we came together as a nation, united in our grief, our anger, and our resolve to never forget. But the legacy of 9/11 is a complex one. It is a legacy of loss, of heroism, of resilience, and of fear. It is a legacy that continues to shape our world today. From the wars we fight to the security measures we endure. And it is a legacy that we, as a nation, are still grappling with, still trying to understand. Amidst the devastation and despair, however, there were also stories of incredible courage and compassion. First responders, risking their own lives to save others. Strangers, helping strangers escape the collapsing towers. Acts of selflessness, both big and small, that reminded us of the inherent goodness of humanity. And so, we rebuild. We honor the memories of those we lost by living our lives to the fullest, by embracing our loved ones, by striving to create a more peaceful and just world. For in the face of unspeakable tragedy, we find the strength to carry on, to find hope in the rubble, and to emerge from the darkness, forever changed but not broken. The events of 9/11 serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. The images of that day, the planes piercing the towers crumbling to the ground, the faces of those lost, are forever etched in our collective memory. We must never forget the victims, the heroes, the lessons learned. Today, we stand as a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. We remember the past, not with hatred or fear, but with a renewed commitment to building a better future. A future where such acts of terror are but a distant memory. Let us honor the legacy of 9/11 by embracing peace, understanding and compassion in all that we do. Let us never forget.